from the
Non
previous
quado
topic.
varan. Mama oyata
Anybody
edidere.
has any question?
Hebai oya hindam atagodak prashna unat.
Anybody has any questions, please ask me. Feel free to ask me. Yes. Uh, so Shahad asked me a question that what is the meaning of TST? So Shahad, the TST full form, actually, yesterday I already shared. The full form of TST is transitional stored ticket, which means whatever the fare that you see and that displays through a command fxx has to be stored in the ticket. And how does this thing happen, and how does this thing will get stored? This will be stored in the form of tst. And can anyone tell me how, what is the command to store the fare in the tst? That is fxp. Clear to everyone? Shahad? All right, anybody else have any questions? I'll give you 1 minute to think. If anyone has any questions, they can unmute or type your question in the chat. Okay. If nobody has any questions, reply everybody that no questions. Okay, Aarti said FXZ one FXU one. Sir, can you please explain? All right, let me explain this one here. So, Aarti, let's take an example that your passenger asked you a question that is there any list of fare available, and so that I can choose which one fare suits me. And can you just let me know the difference between those fares, that is there any extra facility provided by the airline or not? So by this is the way you can perform through a command fxa. All right, Aarti. Now, if any one of the fare will be chosen by the passenger, but the passenger did not confirm to you the option that okay, I'm ready to make the payment. So then you can perform the fxz and the fare line number, which means that you are only going to choose the particular fare number. But if the passenger confirms that, okay, I'm okay to make the payment of any one of the fare which you quote from FXA, then, and if you want to create the TST for that fare, then you have to perform FXU and the fare line number. Clear, Aarti?
Recording in progress.
Any more questions related to the fare part? All right. Now, remember yesterday I told you that the fare which we are discussing is an itinerary based fare, because every time when we are getting a fare, we must have an itinerary, and then we are displaying the fare of that itinerary, and then we are saving the fare. That means we are creating a TST of the fare in the PNR. All right. One more second, guys. Just 1 second more. All right. So every fare which we are displaying is based on the itinerary that you have created. Okay, and the fare which we display and the fare which we store, that means whatever the TST that we create is a confirmed pricing. Why it's a confirmed pricing? Because it's the class of service is available, that is the reason you chose, you sold the seat, and then you get the fare. Then there is another way, because it might create a problem that every time you go and see the fair sell the seats, then do the pricing. Instead of doing this, there is another way to find out the fare, and that is the way, and that is the fare displaying. And the topic which we are going to display is the topic that we are going to discuss is in fare quote display. Okay, and the fare which we through this way if we are going to get, that is a non guaranteed fare. Okay, why it is a non guaranteed fare, we will discuss that part as well. So what happened, in the fare quote display you will see a non guaranteed fare. How do you display, and what is the command that will help you to know the fare for any particular sector? There is a command. Make a note of that command from the quick reference guide. Fare quote display, and the command is FQD. Let's open FQD. Sorry, let me make it capital. FQD Delhi, and not Delhi. Let me go to Colombo to London. Okay, so I want to display the fare between Colombo and London. Press enter. Now, the moment you do so, it will display you the fare, and it will display you in this way. Now, let's start reading what are all those lines mean for. It means that it's a fare is from this fare is still Colombo, London. There are other fares, Colombo LGW, Colombo LTN, and Colombo SEN, and Colombo STN. These are the different airports in the London city. Apart from this, this is a tax may apply. So remember, I told you, once you are going to display through a fare code display, this is a non-guaranteed. So what is the reason that the fare is non-guaranteed? Because the tax is not included in this fare. Okay, so here it is mentioning that taxes may apply. So there are few taxes, airport taxes, that needs to be applied here. Okay, and the fare which is displaying you here is excluding tax. Okay, now the fares is also available in different currencies, and those currencies are Thai baht, Indian rupees, and the Malaysian rupees. Okay, and the rate of exchange which is displaying you the fare is of $1 US, which is for the Sri Lankan market, the fares always shown in your US dollars. Okay, now the fare is displayed for which date? Tell me. 2nd of March, because I did not enter the particular date of fare to be displayed in under FQD command. So that is the reason it picked up, and it gave me the answer 2nd of March. All right. The fare is from Colombo city to London city, and this is NSP. So these are the hemisphere, that is an Eastern Hemisphere. TPM stands for ticketed mileage. So this is an MPM, which is an ticketed mileage, and this is an MPM, which is means maximum permitted mileage. So what happened from that means from Colombo to London, there is a maximum mileage given by the airline. And what is the maximum mileage given by the airline? 6688. Out of that, if passenger is going to book this much fare from any one of the fare which is displaying you right now here, the ticketed mileage is 5402. Okay, so whatever the fare which is displaying you here is the ticketed mileage fare 5,402. Now, how do you find out which one is the ticketed mileage fare and which one is the maximum mileage based fare, which we'll discuss in the upcoming sessions. Okay, that means just after the topic which we are discussing right now. Okay, now, after this is the fare line number. So, how many fares right now displaying you between Colombo to London? As of now, 13 fare. Is it the only 13 fare that is displaying you here? Yes, no? Now there are many more pages, because if you can see, this is the page number 1 and there are page number 12 till the fares are stored. All right. Now this is fare basis. Remember yesterday I told you what is the meaning of fare basis. Fare basis means that it's a combination of an alphanumeric character and it has been created by the airline. And this has been created by the airline for the travel agents. This will help the travel agents to find out the fare saved in the PNR and the rules and restrictions given on that particular fare. So if a fare has been filed by the travel agent under this fare basis, so if he wants to know the fare restrictions, so they have to go and check this fare basis. Under this fare basis, the fare restrictions will be provided. All right, is that clear? Yes, no? Now, this is OW. OW stands for one-way journey. And the fare is in which currency? US dollars. This is RT. RT stands for round trip. So if passenger want to book in this fare line number 1, okay, so how much amount he has to pay? 90 US dollars, correct? Now that means, is it a one-way fare or a round trip fare? That means it's a round trip fare. The passenger has to go from Colombo and then back, Colombo to London and then back to London as Colombo, sorry. Okay. Now there is mentioned PEN. PEN stands for penalty. So under the penalty section, it is mentioned it's a non-refundable fare. So the fare which is displaying you here as of now, it's a non-refundable fare. So that means if a passenger cancels the booking, there will be no refund given. Okay. Here is given dates. So some of the fares have a seasonal based fare. Some of the fares have an exact based fare. So under this, there is no seasonal fare. The fare can be retrieved on any one of the date. But can you tell me, if a passenger wants to book under this 90 US dollar fare, in which class of service passenger has to, that means the travel agent has to sell the seat? Tell me. K class. How do you find out? Under the fare basis, the first letter always defines the class of service. Clear? Now here it is showing as an AP. AP stands for advanced purchase restrictions, which means that how many advanced days the ticket should be happened on that particular PNR. If a passenger has been booked in K class under this fare basis. Okay. Now there is another restrictions that the passenger has to minimum stay how many months? 6 months. And what is the maximum stay? 12 months. Between, that means at least passenger has to stay in London 6 months and then back within 12 months. Then the passenger will get this fare basis and this fare. All right. Now passenger will have to book in which airline? The airline number is given here, the 2-letter airline code, OS airline. All right. Now the fare, what type of fare is this? It's there are two basically types of fare. One is a route based fare and a mileage based fare. So the fare which is displaying you here is a route based fare. If you see as an R, it means it's a route based fare. Route means, so if passenger has to go take this fare under this kilo glass service, so then there are certain routings given. That means from Colombo to London, there is a certain routing based given, and then passenger has to go with that certain route. Then he will get that basic fare value. All right. Now, can anyone tell me what the fare is showing you here? If it is not excluding the tax, then what does it stands for, or what does it mean? It means this is the basic fare of the ticket or basic fare of the PNR. Okay. Have you noticed in the TST I shown you, there are two values. One is the base fare values, which is an airline fare, which we call as an airline fare. And then there are taxes, which is an airport taxes. All right. Clear? Anybody has any questions till now? Now, who will tell me the answer? At fare line number 2, passenger has to book in which of the airline to get this fare, 90 US dollar at line number 2. And what type of fare is this? Is it a mileage based fare? Is it a route based fare? It's a route based fare. Okay, and if it is a mileage based fare, then what single letter will show you here? Instead of R, it will show, no, it's not B. It will show as an B, sorry, or not B, it will show as an M. What will you see here? M, mileage based fare. All right. So this is the if whenever. Now I'm coming to the part of this explanation. So whenever you see here as a mileage based fare, so the maximum mileage permitted by the airline is how much? This much. So within the limit of this maximum mileage permitted, the passenger has to be booked or has to reach his destination. All right. Now at fare line number 9, is it a refundable ticket or a non-refundable ticket? Tell me. Fare line number 9 I'm talking about here. How do you see? How do you find that it's a refundable? Because if it is mentioned as in plus, it means that the fare is there will be a penalty applicable. And how do you find out the penalty? You need to go and see the penalty section of that fare, and then you will find out the uh, uh, what is the cancellation penalty or that will be applicable for this fare basis. All right. Now let's go and see if you want to see the penalty, because here all of the fares above 9, all of the fares are non-refundable, but under this 8, that means from 9 and 10, those fares are refundable fares. That means there are penalty applicable. How do you read? Because might be passenger ask you a question that tell me what is the penalty that if I book in this fare, so how much penalty that I have to pay if I will cancel my ticket. So how do you go and read that? So you simply go and click on the fare line number. The moment you click on the fare line number, the first command shows FQN9. FQN9 means fare quote 9. FQN, fare quote notes. So whatever the rules and restrictions provided by the airline will be for this fare basis will always be saved in where do you see that thing? Under the fare quote notes. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just simply click on that one. The moment I click, okay, I think it has been expired. Let me do once more. Let's go here and read it. Now, see, the moment I do so, all the rules, you see here, the rules display for that particular fare basis automatically displays you here. All right. Now, all the rules. So, what is the first rule? It's a rule application. Then the next rule is a maximum stay. Now, if you want to see the penalties applicable for that particular fare basis, so where should I go and read the penalty? Here is the written. Simply go and click on that red color and you find out the command FQ and 9. 9 means the fare line number 9. Star means I am going to read something related to the penalty, and the penalty section is given here in the PE. So let's enter that. Now the moment you click, now you will be able to see the fare basis, which is an FCL line. The fare, the passenger type code is an adult fare, and here is given the cancellation penalty. Now tell me, what will be the charge of the cancellation at any time? 190 euros. Okay, am I clear? Now, let's take an example. The passenger is in Lanka. So, do you think that is it possible for the Lanka people to pay the penalty as in 190 euros? Is it possible? Yes, no. Shahad said yes. Okay, might be. If the passenger is a foreign passenger, that means foreign customer, that can be possible for him. But generally, the penalty which will display you here under the that means the penalty section, whatever the charge you see in a different currency, that needs to be converted into the local currency, and that will be taken. That means you need to convert that currency into the local currency value, and then you can charge it from the passenger. So how would you convert that 190 euros to the local currency? The command is FQC. All right. 190 euros that needs to be converted into which local currency slash the LKR. This is a local currency three-letter code. Enter. Now, what is the exact value that you need? Passenger has to pay extra as in cancellation penalty. 74,300 Lankan rupees. Is that clear to everyone? Now everybody understood how do you read the penalty section? Yes, no? Now you all tell me, if I want to read the penalty for line number 13, so what should I type here directly to go and read the penalty applicable for the fare line number 13? Tell me. Okay, FQN 13 star and PE is the two-letter code for penalty. Press enter. It will directly display you the penalty section. But if let me just change the question and I ask you a question. If I want to find out and read the entire rules applicable, whatever the rules applicable on the fare line number 12, I want to read. And then I will decide which rules I want to read. But I want to see, first of all, the list of all the rules applicable on that fare line number 12. So what is the command? FQN 12. Enter. That will display you the all applicable rules here. All right. Am I clear? Now let me go and show you in the quick reference guide the first command which we have already discussed. Now, if you want to display the fare code for any specific carrier, let's take an example. That passenger said, I just give me an idea about a fare for the specific sector for the specific airline. So what will do you do? You just simply perform FQD Colombo to London. That is my specific sector. And then I want to see the only fare displayed here for the Sri Lankan Airlines. So what you do? AUL, type it and press enter. Now see, uh, don't use RUP. Okay, Shahar. The UP will be only applicable that if you want to display the fare which is published fare and a unique fare, both. So both will be applicable. So I'm not talking about this one right now. I'm talking about the general example. All right. However, this will also be applicable. So this is the way you can find out. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? Now, if I want to see the last fare, which is at page number 4, so how do I go and just directly display the last page of the fare? No, there is a command which is MB. MB stands for move to the bottom. So this is the way you can go and change. Is that clear? Now, you all tell me, is it a guaranteed fare? Yes, no? That's a not guaranteed fare. Then if it is a not guaranteed fare, then somebody asked me a question. So what is the use of this FQD command? So the use is very simple. Once the you have you want to see any fare for the any particular sector past dated. Let's take an example. I want to know that uh, there is a season going to London from Colombo. There will be a seasonal time. Okay. Now I want to know that last year what will be the fare charged by the airline or given by the airline last year for that particular date or any sector. So then you can use it. Or if you want to price, if you want to know that there is a ticket which has been uh, um, ticketed in your office, and if you don't the fare has been expired and you want to go and read the fare rules, because if the fare has been expired then you are not able to read the fare rules as well. So how do you go and read the fare rules? You go and perform FQD command which will display you the past dated fare, and then from that there you will go and read the fare rules. All right. Now let me quickly show you here why I said this one. Because fare code display how many years back fare you can display, that is given here. Not more than 3 years past dated, not more than 3 years past dated. And not only you can see the past dated fare, you can see and get an idea about the fare from the future dated as well. So the past dated will have only the restrictions of 3 years and future dated of 2 years. That means if you want to get an idea about a fare from next 2 years future dated fare, that what will be, so then that will be applicable for the command FQD. All right. Is that clear to everyone? Now, likewise, how many maximum airlines that you can add? Maximum 3. If you want to find out the fare code display with an exact, with a specific date, that this, if you want to add D and then the date, so the fare will be displayed only for that particular date. If you want to display the fare for a particular date range, then you can perform this one. All right. Is that clear to everyone? Now, there is one more command. Suppose I want to see that, okay, I got the fare that this is the rate round trip fare 4770 US dollar. Now, somebody might ask you a question, or one of the passenger might ask you a question. Can you tell me the bifurcation, that what will be the base fare and what will be the taxes amount for this fare line number 50? So how would you go and bifurcate that, whether it is only basic fare, that is there any taxes also included or not, and how do you find out? So there is a command to find bifurcate the fare FQK and the fare line number 50. Here this will display you the bifurcation. See, and I told you, whatever the fare which is displaying you right now is excluding the taxes, and that is as treated as a base fare only. So that is the reason here it is displaying you as a base fare. Okay. Now there is one more command which will display you including the taxes, and the command is given here. So let me do the same command, and after this I need to add the three alphabets R comma 80. 80, that means including the taxes. Add the taxes, and that will display you the fare here. See, now, where do you see the taxes has been added? Do you see here on the top where it was mentioned the tax may apply? Here all the taxes which may applied, or which would be applied, it gets added here, and then you can see the fare values also changed. Clear? But now, will you tell the same fare to the passenger? Yes, no? Okay, so you have to pay this much extra amount or this much pay amount, and then I will book the ticket. Yes, no? No, because to get this fare you have to follow these restrictions. That means there is an advance purchase restrictions also, that plus 30 days. There is a maximum stay there given. So if you that it is a round trip fare, so the maximum stay would be 3 months. Within the 3 months the passenger has to come back. And if passenger is giving you a 4 months stay, then will the fare get given by the system? No, it will not be given by the system, because it is not applicable. That one of the fare condition is not applicable. All right. So that can also be done through including, it can only include the tax. So okay. Clear? Which one? The last command. Suppose I want to display the fare from Colombo to London in Sri Lankan Airlines including the taxes. So I just put here R and then comma 80. 80 means add the taxes. Okay. Clear? Now there are other commands which will help you to find out the fare displayed without creating any itinerary, without selling any segment as well. So that there is a one command, FQD command. There is another command which is FQP command. Let me go and show you here. HEFQP. Here, fare quote pricing. Now you might ask a question. So what is the difference between FQD and FQP? So there is a huge difference between FQD and FQP. So the first major difference, FQD is only a city pair display, which means for a certain city pair, you can get the fare. But there is a passenger who is looking to see the fare, or let's take an example. You want to see the fare for a multi-city, because there is a passenger who is a multi-city traveler. He asked you to share me, he asked you to share an idea about a fare for any specific sector. Like Passenger is, the command is very simple, FQP, fare quote pricing. Okay. And then let's take an example. Passenger is traveling from where? From Colombo slash D. D stands for, um, no, let's take an answer. The, from Colombo, in which of the airline passenger is traveling? So passenger wants to travel with an Sri Lankan Airlines. Done. And then he is looking to go from Colombo to Singapore. So this is the first sector, Colombo to Singapore. In which of the airline? Sri Lankan Airlines. Now there is an another sector slash. Now you need to add the departure date as well. Instead of that, you can add the departure date, because passenger has already given you a proper departure date. So let's add the departure date. So departure date would be 12th of March. Done. So the first sector, Colombo to Singapore in Sri Lankan Airlines, and the departure date is 12th of March. Now I need to go to, let's take as in Singapore. Uh, John F. Kennedy. I want to go, not Singapore. Let me just first from Singapore. Okay. Now this is the second sector which I am going to look. Singapore. All right. Slash A and SQ. From Singapore, I want to go in a Singapore airline till JFK. All right. Slash. And the departure date is 13th, not 13th, let's add 20th of March. So now how many sectors have been added here? Can you tell me? How many cities that I have added? A city pair? 3 cities. One is Colombo to Singapore, and the another is Singapore to New York. And then it will give you the display. Okay, I'm sorry, there is an error. That I need not to add. There is no such fare given here. I don't need to add this Singapore here, which I added, because the system will automatically understand, okay, you are in Singapore. Now you want to go from Singapore to New York. Okay, so that is the reason I removed the Singapore, and then it did not give me any fare, because in my office ID, there is no such fare filed from between Colombo to Singapore. All right. However, what I'll do, I'll just copy this command and then try to find out the fare. So there is a fare code display from Delhi in Qatar Airways. Departure is 14th January till Doha. Okay. And then departure is 16th of January till London in Qatar Airways. Okay. So that is the way you can find out. Again, there is no such fare filed by the airline. So in this office ID, there is no such fare filed by the airline. And if you see this this way the fare, it means that the airline has not filed any specific fare. Okay. However, generally you may find that one. I'll just give you a very simple example. FQP Colombo to London. Then London to New York. And then back to Colombo. Okay, there's no such fare. Let's find out if there's no fare filed by the airline. FQP Colombo to NUL LHR / D 10th May. Now do you see this one? What I have done? I have searched for a Colombo to London in Sri Lankan Airlines. Departure is on 10th of May. See, How many fares have been given by the system? Two different fares. Now, what is the class of service that if I have to book for to get this fare? I class, and K class will be booked to get this fare. Okay. Now, do you see the difference? There is a very next difference. The first difference is that it's a multi-city itinerary should could be found here. Okay, through FQP. The second difference, in FQD, the taxes has not been applied. But in FQP, do you see here the T means taxes, and taxes is added, yes or no? It's added. So whatever the fare which is displaying you here is the taxes added by the system. Whatever the fare you are displaying here, it's a taxes added system fare. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Okay. No, again, this is also not a guaranteed price. Now, can you tell me why the fare is not guaranteed? Anyone can try and give me the answer that why it is not a guaranteed fare. No, the fare is not guaranteed because of one reason. Is it guaranteed that will you get the same class of service if you go and search the availability? Yes, and that is the reason the fare is not guaranteed. Because it is not possible that once you go and search the availability, you will 100% find this I class seat available. There might be a possibility that the I class seat is not available. So if the I class seat is not available, then it is not possible to find out the fare basis, this fare basis. And if this will fare basis will not come, the fare will not come. So that is the reason it's a non-guaranteed fare. Understood? Anybody has any other questions? If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask me. There are other ways to write down the FQP. These are the commands which has been given. You can use as per your requirement. Okay. If you want to see any stopover fare, any fare which is a past dated one, then how can you use this past dated fare? All right. Okay. Let me see. All right. Uh, Before going to proceed further, can I ask some questions to you and then you all answer yes, no? Okay. So, answer my question. There is a passenger. First of all, listen the question and then answer. There is a passenger who came to you and said, please book me to the lowest fare, whichever is giving you the system, and book me and give me the ticket. Whatever the fare comes, I'm ready to make the payment. So which one of the command would you prefer to perform, and then you will get the lowest fare? Diksha, FXD, I have not given you the answer. No FXR, no, 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 no. Remember, I told you yesterday, let me show you the here. Have you noticed I told you that if you want to book me to the lowest fare and create a TST, then what will be the command? FXB. Remember, I told you a question that the passenger is ready to make the payment, but at least he said, book me to the lowest available. So if passenger has already given you the lowest fare confirmation and ready to make the payment, so why are you going to use FXR and then perform FXP? Go and do FXB. Okay. So what happened? It will rebook to the lowest fare and create a TST. So instead of typing two different commands, type a single command which will do both the jobs in a single way. All right. All right. Now, another question. If I want to book me into the refundable fare only, the lowest but the refundable fare, not a non-refundable fare. So how would you find out the lowest available refundable fare? What is the command? FXR slash Kanchana. Check your command, not right. Yes, Madhushanka, Hafsa, correct. I can see very few people have replied this answer. Shahad, okay. Kanchana, please correct your command. Diksha replied. You can see only 4 or 5 people only reply. Abdul, why did you use R comma UP? I asked, did I ask, did I ask you a question like, please book me and show me the unique fare and the published fare? No, I did not ask this question. Correct your answer. So FXR slash R comma RF. And here is the answer given in your manual. See, yesterday I showed you this command here, FXR slash R comma RF. So this will show you only the lowest refundable fare. All right. Now, let me ask you a question. If there is a PNR and in that PNR, there are four different passengers. So one is, first of all, let me finish my question and then answer. Okay. There is a child passenger, there is an infant passenger, and two adult passenger. Now, you all tell me how many TST will be created for that four passenger, two adult and two infant. First of all, listen to my question. Two adult, a child, and two infant. How many TST gets created? Four TST. Okay. I hope I don't. No, you have remembered the command yesterday. Now let us do this command practically and then I'll show you. No, don't get confused. Now we are going to do this practically in front of you. AN 10th of May, Colombo, London in Sri Lankan Airlines. Let's sell the seat in Victor class. Okay, Roger class. 1/4. All right. NM1 Mishra. Now I want to add this time two passengers name. Now please focus on here. Two adult passengers name and both the adult passenger name surname is similar. So how do you add the common surnames in the PNR in a single column command? So this is, I did it NM2 because now I'm going to add two passengers name whose surname are similar Mishra and then slash Naveen Kumar. Then again give a space and add a slash and add the second passenger name. Now here, can you do you see here? Did I add the surname of the second passenger? Yes, no, no. I did not add it because there is no need to add because I have already performed the command nm2, which automatically understood the system. Okay, there is a second passenger's surname is also Mishra. That is the reason I did not add it here. Now I added two adult passenger, and here now I am going to add two child passenger name. So let me add nm2 and the both child's passenger name or surname also be a similar Sharma, Rajiv, Kumar. Now what is the title that I have to use for the male child? MSTR, then slash and RADHA Radha and MISS Miss. All right. Now, is it the way to add the child passenger name? No, CHD slash 10th Jan 19. Let me add this here. And again, CHD slash 10th June 19. All right, enter. Okay, now see, it the name is too long to enter. So that is the reason I need to add one by one. Again, NM1, it gets added. Here, gets added. Now, have I created my PNR completely? Yes, no. Is it created? No. No. And have I added the infant name in the PNR? Yes, no. No. All right. So now focus. Yesterday I shared you a command. Have you remembered the command? If I want to remove the child passenger, what should I do from the PNR? There is a 4-step process, and that process name is called split process, manual split process. Remember, SP is the command. Yes, no? Yes. Here, now I'm going to just do, because if you forget to add the infant name in the PNR, infant name addition in the PNR, and airline has already given you an approval that all right, you can add the infant name in the PNR. How would you add the infant name and how would you associate the infant name with both these adult passenger? There is a command and that is given here. Um, let me show you. Just allow me a moment. Let me show you the page number, which will help you to understand. Mm, Here, under the PNR modification. So how would you associate an infant to an adult passenger? And this entry only be done after the airline's approval. So once airline approves, okay, you can add one infant passenger in the adult PNR. That means you can associate. So then you can perform. Remember that one. Please make a note of this part. Okay. So this entry can only be done once the airline has given an approval to you. Now, how would you do so? You simply perform the command one. Now, which one that means at what line number there is an adult passenger and that you want to associate that adult passenger with an infant. So if it is a one passenger number one, then you can add one, or if it is a passenger number two, you need to add here two. So let me do for the two. Two means I want to add the infant and I want to associate an infant passenger with an adult passenger number two. Done. Two slash, and then perform the entry to add the infant passenger. Now tell me what is the entry to add an infant passenger? Can anyone tell me quickly? What should I do first here? No, I should start with a bracket. All right, and then INF. Okay, now let's uh, see the infant surname. So the infant surname is Varma slash Radhika, Radhika. So this is the complete name of the infant as per passport. Okay, and I need to write the title MISS. Do I need to add the title here? No need to add that one. That is not a mandatory one. And then put a slash and date of birth 10th Feb 22. Done. Press enter. The moment you enter, it will give you that, okay, are you sure want to the changes the passenger's name? If you click on confirm, see the infant name gets associated here. Yes, no? Now you all tell me the command. I want to add one more infant and I want to associate one more infant with the adult passenger number one. What should I write here first? One, the next slash, then okay, then INF. All right. The name of the passenger as per passport. So let's add the name of passenger MISHRA slash Ragini. All right. Then slash and the date of birth 10th January 2023. Let's add like this way. Press enter. Again, it will ask you to confirm. Okay, click on the confirm. Okay, that name is too long. Where is the long thing? Okay, there is some error coming up. No worries. What I'll do, I'll just enter the passenger name in a short form. Where is the error coming up? Okay, 10th January 22. Let's do this way. Item too long. It is long here. There is some error coming up. I don't know why the system is giving me an error. No, there will be no problem with the space. There will be no problem with the space. There will be some error, technical issue from my training system. Okay, no worries. So I hope you all understand the way. Yes or no? Any questions till now? How do you associate? Now, will you associate the infant name to an adult? That means with an adult without consulting the airline? Yes or no? So you must have to consult, and once the airline gives you approval, then only you can perform this command. All right. All right. Now we were discussing about the fares. How many TST gets Um, no need to just enter the first name. Or you can do this way, might be. Let me see. This way happen. No, that is not going to be possible. Okay, leave it. Now I asked you a question. How many TST gets created if there will be two child, two adult and two infant? But in my case, there is an two adult, one infant, two child. Now, how many TST gets created? Now, tell me, I want to create a TST. So what is the command that I should use here directly to create a TST? All right, FXB. Let's go and do this. Now, have you noticed it automatically rebooked to the lowest class of this available, that means lowest fare, and create your TST. Now, how do you view the TST? Tell me, what is the command to view the TST? Tell me. TQT. This will display you the TST. Now tell me how many TST has been created. Somebody said 4. Vipuli, how do you say that there are 4 TST created? See, this is the TST number T1. T1 means this is the TST number 1 and this is the another TST number 1. So both the adult passenger have single TST, okay, and both the child passenger have another TST. Do you see this? This is the TST number 2 for both the child, and there is another TST created for which type of passenger? Infant. So remember, whenever there are 3 different types of passengers like adult, child and infant, so how many TST gets created? 3. All right. What does it mean? It simply means that the number of types of passenger added in the PNR, that number of TST gets created. Okay. Now, if you want to read the TST number 3, how do you go and read the TST number 3? Hello. Yes. So how do you go and view the TST number for the, how do you view the TST for this passenger number? For passenger number 2. Just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. So what I'll do, if I want to view the TST number 1, there are 2 ways. Either I can go and click on this TST number or I can type the command. So suppose I want to view the TST number 2. So what should I do? What is the command that I type? TQT/T2. T2 means that's the TST number. And if I want to view the TST number 3, then I use it T3. Everybody understood? So that is also given here in the command. Here, TQT/T1, or if you want to display the TST for only the passenger, that means the adult passenger, or for the infant passenger. So if I directly type here TQT slash INF, it will display me. It will not go and just tell you to select the TST number. It will directly select the TST number 3. Understood? Is that clear to everyone? Now, there is one more command which will be used for you, and that command is let's take an example that I have booked the fare for which airline? Sri Lankan airline. Now, for every airline which you create a PNR and which you store the fare and then you issue the ticket, there is a commission provided by the airline at each and every issuance, or each and TST. Okay, a TST or the issuance. Okay, so let's take an example that I have created this fare and I have issued this TST. Now, for that, airline gives me a commission, and that commission is called as an IATA commission. What do we call? It's an IATA commission. So how do you view that? How much airline provides me the commission for that issuance? There is a command TQT slash FM and then press enter. Now it will just give me the TST wise commission. That means which commission that you, for which TST that you want to see the commission. So click on this one. No, not this way. It will be like this TQT slash T1 slash FM. I want to see the IATA commission for the TST number 1. Enter. Now tell me, what is the percentage amount that IATA will provide you? How much percentage? Understood? So this is the another way that you can find the commission. TQT slash FM to view the commission from the Amadeus commission table. So that means this commission has been tabled in the Amadeus system. So once you perform TQT slash FM, which means that IATA has been going to provide you that much commission. Okay. Now, if you want to delete the TST, suppose the TST has been created. Yes. Now you want to just delete this TST. What is the command to delete the TST? TTE. Press enter. Now it will ask me the need TST number because there are 3 different TST has been created. So which TST that you want to delete? So I want to delete all the TST. So TTE slash all. So all the TST gets deleted. If you want to delete the TST wise, then you can use TTE slash T1. T1 means the TST number 1. T2 means TST number 2. No, Hafsa. You can view the commission once you store the fare. Means once you create the TST, then only you can view the commission. Without creating the TST, you are not able to see the commission. Okay, Hafsa? Clear about this topic? How to delete the TST? This is here given. Apologies, Hassan, not possible because that I already told you that this is for the internal purpose that not should not be allowed to just share with any of the person outside of this office. So apology for the same. Now, if I view the TST, now see, what does this indicator stands for? Tell me, everybody. It's an Amadeus guaranteed price indicator. Okay. All right. Uh, Now that's it from the fares topic. Now let's take a short break. And after the break, we will continue from the last topic, whichever one that is queues. And then there are extended securities. Those are the different topics that are left. And there are small commands which also are left, which I will let me see between the break, and then we'll discuss those commands. Okay, take for a break for 10 minutes and then be back by 3:30. Everybody, all right? Thank you. Hafsa, in this training, there is no topic related to group booking. All right. For that group booking, need to discuss with your Amadeus account manager. They will help you that when the group booking session will be done or not. They will help you to find out that way. So please discuss this same thing with your Amadeus account manager. All right. So the only topic whichever is left is queues, extended securities, and commands like how to add the surface sector, then how do you go and read MCT connections, and those small commands which are left behind. I'll just discuss that part. Okay, take a break for 10 minutes.
Hello.
Hello, the break is over. I hope everybody is present in the session. Okay, let me share the screen once more and let's start our topic. Now, moving towards the new topic, and that is Q. That topic is here, Amadeus Qs. Amadeus Qs. Now, before going to start, anybody has idea about Qs? What is Qs? Anybody has any idea about the Qs? Anybody has any idea about the Qs? Please share with your idea. Okay. Shahad has asked a question. So DK slash one. Okay, Shahad, I'll just answer your question later on. Let's complete this topic and then you can ask the same question. So Diksha said, check the message from the airline. Okay. Anybody else have any other opinion about the queues? All right. No worries. Don't get too much stressed about that. What have I have asked the question to you? No worries. I'll just make it clear with you. What is a queue? So queue is a holding area for all the bookings that you create in your Amadeus Office ID. So everybody, you all know that in your office, you create n number of PNRs regularly. Yes or no? Yes or no? Everybody creates n number of PNRs on a regular basis. Now, you all answer my question. That is it possible for you all to check all the PNRs which you create on a regular basis? Suppose I created 100 PNRs. Now, tomorrow, once I come, I check the PNR, all the 100 PNRs, that what have happened with the PNR? Is there any changes happen in the PNR, or is something pending in this PNR? It is not practically possible to check all the PNRs that you create on a regular basis. So then the queues is the very a nice option in the Amadeus. And what the queues will do in the Amadeus? So the queue is on holding area for all the booking files that you create in your Amadeus Office ID. It's a bank. Okay. Now, what will the queue do? That queue will identify. That means queue will first of all monitor each one of the PNR. Okay, what action is pending, what is required in the PNR, all those things gets checked um in the queue. Through queue, all the PNRs get monitored. That is the first job of queue. Once that get monitored, then the queue segregate those PNRs. Now, what does it mean by segregate? Because 100 PNRs have definitely 10 or 15 different works or 100 different works. So definitely every work is not a similar one. So how does system understand, and how do you understand that which queue or which PNR has this job needs to be done pending, or there is a pending work needs to be done for that particular PNR? So then the queue's job is to segregate. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a PNR for a schedule change. Let's create a PNR for a ticketing queue. Let's create a PNR for all the SSR elements pending. Let's create a PNR for all the TKTL elements present in the PNR. So then this will queue will do what Q will do? Q will segregate. Okay, this PNR is for the ticketing process. This PNR is related with an SSR pending process. Now understood the segregation? Yes, no? Now, once the segregation done, now they'll set the prioritization. Prioritization means they will set the priority that, okay, if you understand, 100 PNRs you create on a daily basis, and all the PNRs have a different travel date. Okay, so how the system will understand that which one of the PNR, or how do you understand that this which one of the PNR is travel within next 24 hours, next 48 hours, on it has 6 months future dated travel. So now the queue's job is to prioritize them. So then they will set the priority. Okay, this PNR has a travel date within 24 to 48 hours. There is a PNR whose travel date is within 4 to 5 days, then more than 7 days, more than 10 days. So this is a set of a priority. So now you all understand what is the job of a queue? What is the job of a queue? Tell me. First, monitor that there is something pending in the PNR. Now, the second, segregate what is pending in the PNR. And then what is the travel date? Is it a urgent travel date, or is it a future dated travel? Okay, is that clear to everyone? Yes, no? Yes, to monitor, segregate, and prioritize. Clear? Now moving to the next part. So Amadeus has 100 queues. How many queues Amadeus has? Amadeus has 100 queues. And how all the queues gets indicated in the queue? It will show a single digit number or a double digit number. So all the queues starting with queue number 0 and ends till queue number 99. So if you add 0 and 99, it will become 100 queues. Okay. Now you all know that, okay, this is a queue 0, queue number 1, queue number 2. It gets monitored, and it get understood that, okay, there is a queue number 0 schedule change. I'm just giving an example. Now in the schedule change, there might be different jobs. Yes or no? That some of the PNRs get unoperational by the airline. Some of the PNRs have a time change only, a 10 minutes change, or a 15 minutes change. Or might be there will be a sub PNR in the some PNR that flight has been cancelled by the airline. There is an unoperational airlines done by the airline. There are those kind of jobs. So how all the PNRs get segregated? So then each one of the queue have further different categories, and each category has certain meaning. So how many categories can have a single queue? Tell me. Here it is, I have written. So a single queue can have maximum 256 categories. So understood the topic? So there is 100 queues, and each queue can have maximum 256 categories. Clear with this, John? Clear with this topic? Yes, no? All right. So now the monitoring part is done. This queues will be defined. Now the segregation will be done through this queues category. Now let's go and understand the prioritization. So the Amadeus have set 4 different priorities, and that will be indicated as an D1, D2, D3, and D4. Okay. So what does this D1 stands for? So this will set a priority of a travel within 48 hours. Okay. Now there is another D2 range, and those PNRs lie in the D2 range whose travel is within 2 to 5 days. Now D3, 5 to 8. And then last day priority set is of D4 whose travel is more than 8 days. Understood? Yes, no? All right. Now everybody understood this one. So now you all tell me, if a travel, if any of the PNR whose travel is lying in the D2 range, so do you think that the PNR will always lie in this priority date D2 range? Yes, no? Or will it change, or will it move to the some different date range priority? Because definitely every day the days is changing and the travel date is coming near by near. So definitely if a PNR is lying in the D2 date range for between 2 to 5 days, definitely after 5 days or within 2 days, the PNR change from the D2 priority to a D1 priority. Yes, no? Yes or no? Yes. So which one is the most super urgent priority that you need to work first, and then you need to move to the next priority date? D1, because this is the most important, and that means the travel is within next, or that means within 48 hours, and then you have to work on that PNR. So clear with this? Amadeus has how many queues? Amadeus has 100, and each queue can have further 256 categories. And what is the job of a queue? Monitor, segregate, and prioritize. Clear? And now what is a queue called? Queue is a bank, or queue is a area where all the PNRs get lied. Then they will monitor, segregate, and prioritize accordingly. Yes? Now you got to know about what is queue, how many queues, how many categories, and then how what is the job, what is the date range. We all know, but we don't know how does the queue looks like, and how do I view the queue in my office. So before processing, going to start with the command, I'm going to make you clear. Please make a note of this word. For each travel agency, the queue is most important work, because any how all the travel agents has to work on the queue, and then that person has to clear that queue as well, because if a single PNR is lying in any one of the queue, that will lead to ADM for that travel agency, or lead to a customer dissatisfaction, or you can say it's a customer escalation comes to you. Okay, so that is the reason, for each travel agency, for all the travel agency, you always have to have work on your queues, and your queue should be always showing as in 0. All right, is that clear? Now let's move to the command one. So if you want to display all the existing queues that are possibly present in your office, so what is the command that you should perform? So let's do this command here, qtq. So the moment I do qtq, okay, sorry. The moment I do qtq, it will display me all the active queues, that are present in my office. But it will only show me the active queues, because all not the 100 queues are active. So you need to get activated. That is also a separate thing. But whatever the queues that is possibly present in your Amadeus Office ID will show you here the moment you perform QTQ. Okay. How do you read? See, this is the time at that we perform this command. At what time we have performed this command? 15:45. The date, and this is a queue. Queue for which office ID? This is my office ID, and this is the QTTL. That means total lying PNR, total PNR, that is. So now tell me, there is a queue named DLY DAT. Is there any PNR lying in this queue? Yes, no? Now there is a queue number 1. Do you see here? Queue number 1. And what is the name of that queue number 1? Confo. How many PNRs are lying in this queue? 3 PNR. Okay. Now, don't you feel that it is very hectic job and a tedious job to go and see under which queue the PNR is lying, under which queue the PNR is not lying? Because if you see here, it is showing you all the queues, whether the PNR is lying in that particular queue or not. It is not a matter. It will display you all the active queues. So now, is there any other command which will display you all the active queues which has PNR? The command is Qt. See, the moment you do Qt, now it will not show you all the active or all the queues. It will only display you those queues which have an PNR. Now, how do you read that one? That I'm going to explain it to you. Please focus here. Now, at what time I have performed the command Qt? 1547. What is the date? It is showing you here. The queue for which office ID and then QTL. All right. Now there is a queue. What is the number of that queue? 0. Name of that queue is in general. Now, if you see here, general means in that queue, all types of PNR lies here. There is no specification given by the system or by the Amadeus. It will in this queue, all types of PNR automatically lies. That there is no specific work. Okay, that in this particular queue, only those type of PNR live. Here, the queue number 0 general has a all types of PNR lies here, general. Okay. Now, under this queue numbers Q0 general, there is a category number also. What is the name of that category? 0. How many PNRs are lying in this? 3. Understood? How to read about that? Now, you might ask a question. So you said that there is a date range, further date range also. So why not showing a date range under Q0 general? So make a note. There are two types of queues. How many types of queues? There are two types of queues. One is a special queue and another is a dual queues. Make a note of this one. There is a queue which is a general, a special queue and a dual queues. Have you noted? Yes, no? So whenever you see any special queue, in the special queue, you will never find or never see the date range. That means the priority set or the priority which was set by the system. You will never see. But whenever you see any queue have a date range, that means a priority date set, it means it's a dual queues. All right. Any questions? Yes, no. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Ah. Apologies, Hassan. I told you that is not possible. All right. Now, focus here. I told you that there is a special queue, and under the special queue, how many further categories can happen? Tell me in any of the special queue. So, queue number 0 is a special queue or a dual queue? Tell me first of all, and then we'll go and ask you the next question. Somebody said dual. It's in a special queue. How do you find out and how do you judge that any of the special queue have a category, but they do not have a date range? Yes. So How many further categories can have any special queues? No, 250, Hafsa, that can have 256 categories, because I told you that single queue can have maximum 256 categories, but they do not have any date range. Okay. So now queue number one, what is the name of that queue? Confo. Okay. So every queue you can create yourself as in queue, your in your office you can create your office queues, and you can rename that. Okay. So this is the queue name, and there is another subcategory which is an SPCL SVC category. Now what is the category number given here? C6. How, and what is the date range given here? How many PNRs are lying here? One. Is that clear to everyone? Now tell me, which one will be the urgent queues that you have to work? The D3 one or a D1? So first of all, you have to work on these two categories, category number 7 and category number 8, and then go to work on category number 6. Clear? So have you noticed how many categories are there present right now displaying you here under the queue number 1? Tell me how many categories are there, and name the category. What is the first category number? Oh no, somebody said 4. Kanchana, where do you see 4 categories are present in queue number 1? Where do you see? Don't say mistake, but look at the screen. Okay, no worries. I understand. Okay, no worries. Tell me the first category number for the queue number 1 confo. SPCL SVC C6. Very nice. Now everybody understood? Now, next thing, please make a note of that. Open your note, a pen or paper, wherever you are making note. Open and make a note of that. I said how many queues can be present in Amadeus? 100. Yes. Out of that 100, 19 queues are fixed by the airline. Okay. And that 19 queues is being fixed by and they have the already assigned job as well. Okay. Okay. 19 queues have already been assigned by the airline, and those queues can have a fixed job. So always those type of PNRs lie in that particular queue. I told you, make a note. How many queues are could be present in an Amadeus? 100. Out of that 100, 19 queues have a fixed, already created in such a way, and that queues will be assigned for the airline, which means whenever a PNR have a change from the airline, and there is a specific job needs to be done by the travel agents, and they send the travel that means airlines send the PNR to the travel agent, so it will automatically lie into that particular queue. I will tell you which queue, what is the name, how do you identify. I'll just tell you that one as well, but fine, I'll write down that one. 19 queues have a what I can say, a fixed queues, which is an airline format. That means it is being used by the airline. Rest of them can be utilized by your office or by your other one. That means you can give it to the other person. Okay, you can send your PNR into that particular key, which we'll also discuss in this session. I will tell you what is the use share that queue number to other person. I'll just give you the idea about this one. Clear to everyone? Yes, no? So 19 queues. So this is the way. Now tell me, here there is a queue number one, which is a confo queue. Okay. So now this is also a predefined queue. And what type of PNR lies in this confo queue, I will explain it to you. Okay, which of out of that 19 queues, there are few queues which are most unfrequently used by the airline. Now, how do you find out that which queue is for what purpose, and then so and so on? I'll just explain it to you. See here. So there is a queue number one. Okay, and what is the name of that queue number one? Confo. Under that confo, there is a category number one. Okay, so there is a category number one. Here, there is a category number one. So now, under this category, what type of PNR lies? So TS stands for travel agent. So travel agent will receive those PNRs who have inactive air segment. Inactive air segments. Inactive air segments. Okay. Now see here. You haven't noticed that the you have created a PNR. You have already issued the ticket on that PNR, but couple of days later, the airline canceled the segment. So what happened? The PNR status got changed from HK to HX. Yes or no? Because airline canceled that flight. They're not operating. Airline already canceled. Yes. Or there might be other status also. So that status is UC, UN, or NO. So if you find any such type of PNR status, okay, in your PNR, which means that the segment is inactive. Okay, then the PNR automatically lie into the queue number one, category number one. So tell me, if there will be a flight cancelled by the airline, so which queue and which category number the PNR lies? What is the queue number and what is the category number? No, I don't. I did not ask the PNR status. I asked the question. Tell me the queue number and the category number where the PNR has been cancelled by the airline. Hafsa, queue number one is the correct one, but you said Kanchana said category number 6. Here, see what is the category that I have shared you here. Don't look at this display. We'll come to that part as well. So the queue number one, category number one is only predefined, and those PNR will automatically line. We have an inactive air segment, means the airline has cancelled that PNR. Okay. Now, what is your job? Because airline has given you an information and they have sent you the PNR into that particular queue. Okay. Now, what is your job to do? As an job, because you know, any queue whichever is created and any PNR which is lying in that particular queue, your job has to do the action on that PNR. Because if a PNR is lying in a queue and if you do not do any action, so you remember I told you that two things will happen. Either the ADMs will come from the airline or a customer dissatisfaction or escalation comes from the airline. Escalation comes from the passenger. Okay. So any PNR that is lying in the any queue, your job is to do action on that PNR. Okay. Now you find that there is a PNR lying in the queue number one, category number one. Now, what is your action? Your action is to accept the changes. What is your action? Your action is to accept the changes. Now, do you do anything if airline cancel the segment? Do you do anything? Because it's an airline wish. They don't want to travel. So they cancel the PNR. Yes, they cancel the segment. Now your job is to only accept the changes. And that is the primarily job for all the travel agents. Whenever you see any queue number one, category number one PNR is lying there, your job is to accept the changes. Focus on very, very important job, very important topic. I'm just going to discuss this one. Okay. Now you understand that, okay, my job is to accept the changes. So how would you accept the changes? What command would you perform that the changes gets accepted? The command is given here. RF initials semicolon ERK. So make a note of this one. For every queue, any kind of action, such as it is telling you that, okay, you need to accept the changes or any job, then your job is to perform this command RF initials and ERK. Understood? Anybody has any question till now? RF initials and ERK. Initials means your name, because who is going to accept these changes or who is doing action on this PNR. Understood? So if Lakhan is doing this action on this PNR, so he has to write his name under the initials and then put a semicolon and enter the command ERK. Okay. The moment you perform this command, and if a PNR is lying in the queue number one, category number one, what will happen? The inactive segment will automatically be removed from the PNR. Okay. Are you getting my point? Yes, no? Inactive segment means any PNR segment have an showing as an HX, that segment will be removed from the PNR. And it is your primarily job, because airline is not operating. So why are you going to keep that segment holding? And if you do not do on time, the airline might send you an ADM for that, because you have not released the seat on time, and then 100% the airline will send you ADM. Okay, is that clear? Now there is another queue. There is another category under the queue number one. So that's the queue number one and the category number 6. Now, what is the name of that category? SPCL SVC. What type of PNR lies here under this category? Only those PNR where you have requested any special remarks in the PNR and airline have done any changes in the special remarks. Suppose you have requested any special remarks related to a meal and airline has rejected that meal. So what kind of notification sent by that airline? No, have you noted this one? No, NO. Remember at the time of a special request I shared you, a no status will means no action will be taken by the airline. Okay. So what will happen? The queue will see, okay, there is a status change in the special service request. Okay, so they get monitor and then they segregate the PNR and then send it to the category number 6, queue number 1, category number C6. It automatically lies here. Now you open the queue and you find, okay, there is a PNR lying in the category number C6, queue number 1. What is your job? Tell me, what is your job? And what is the command to accept the changes? Very nice, Muhammad Adil. Uh, you entered wait, READ. Why are you typing READ? Let me see. I'm sorry. Muhammad, you mentioned READ and then ER. No, that's not the correct command. Hafsa, FRH, no, that's not the correct command. Yes, now Diksha is correct. Diksha, ERK should be entered, not ER only, ERK. Diksha, correct yourself. Yes, Hafsa. RF, then your name and semicolon ERK. Muhammad Adil, yes, RFBB and the ERK. Clear? Now, there might be another possibility that you have requested any meal seat or any kind of special service and airline has not confirmed the segment. And couple of days later, airline confirms that segment or that special request. So what will happen? The status will be changed to KK1. Okay. Now you see, you open the PNR and you find, okay, that there is a special service request which has been requested by us. Now the airline has informed, okay, it is a confirming. That means your job is to accept the changes. All right. And once you accept the changes through which command, RF, your initials and semicolon ERK, what will happen? The KK will change to which status? KK will change to HK, which means now the airline has confirmed your special service request. So now you all tell me, what is the queue number and the category number for special service request? Tell me quickly. Yes. Queue number 1, category number 6. And queue number 1, category number is a 1 is defined for what type of PNRs? Queue number 1, category number 1. The cancelled segments PNR, like HX, UC, UN, NO PNRs. The PNR status has been changed. The PNR segment has been cancelled by the airline. Clear, everyone? Now moving to the next part. Now remember, these are the most important cues that I am discussing here. However, all the cues are very important for all the travel agents. Okay. So don't rely on my words. Okay, sir has just taught us this much cues, so we'll work on that much cues, and rest of the cues are not going to work because sir has not taught us. No, all the cues are very much important. Okay, and while working on the cue, please check with your superiors as well, whosoever is senior. Please discuss the same thing because it is very crucial thing. If you do any mistakes, then you will not be able to find out where that mistake has happened and what has happened in the PNR. All right. So be cautious while performing that one. As that's the reason I'm just making you to read and learn all those cues. Now there is one more cue. There is one more category under the queue number 1, and that category is C7. What type of PNR receives here? Remember, airline gives you a time limit, ticketing time limit. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So now the time limit which was been given by the airline, under which category? It will be sent under the OPWOPC. That means a optional warning, optional cancellation. Okay. So if any of the PNR which has an optional warning option, so what happened? That PNR will automatically lie in the queue number 1, category number 7. Now, what is your job? What action that you can do, that you need to do in the PNR? First of all, you need to accept the changes. But before going to accept the changes, your job is to call the customer and ask, sir, you have requested to create a PNR. However, airline has given us a certain time limit. If you do not make the payment to issue the ticket, then the airline will automatically cancel the PNR. So now you tell me, so what are you looking for this? What are you going to do with this PNR? Okay, are you going to make the payment so that we can issue the ticket, or are you going to not make the payment so that I can cancel the PNR? Okay, so either one of the answers will come from the passenger. Whatever the answer will be given by the passenger, you need to do and work accordingly. But your job is to first of all perform this command. Okay, is that clear? Yes, no? And then call the customer and then ask. Okay, yes, no? Anybody has any question? Now there is one more important queue. Queue number 2. What is the name of that queue? KL. Now what type of PNR lies? Any of the travel agent who creates a PNR as a waitlist PNR. Okay. So some of the travel agents, what they do, they create a waitlist PNR. They saw that, okay, this is a class of service which is showing us under waitlist, and they know that after a couple of days, or if they have discussed with the airline and the airline said, create a PNR in the waitlist class of service, what I'll do, I will confirm that waitlist seat. Okay. So what they do, they create a PNR. Now, once they create a PNR and airline confirms the PNR, that means airline, the waitlist PNR gets confirmed by the airline. So how does the airline gives you the information that, okay, waitlist, you have created a PNR as in the waitlist. Now I have confirmed your waitlist PNR. They will not going to call you. They send the PNR into the particular queue number 2. Now what's your job? First of all, your job is to open the PNR, and what will happen? The KL status, because once you create any PNR under waitlist, okay, whenever you create any waitlist PNR, what will be the status of PNR? It will always show as an HL. HL stands for the waitlist PNR. Okay, once a travel agent creates a PNR, the HL status will be shown. Where do you see the HL status? Here. Let me open a PNR. Here, under the HK, instead of showing as an HK, what status it will show? HL. Okay. Now, once the airline confirms the PNR, so then HL will be converted into KL. All right. From HL, it will convert into KL. And now the moment it converted into KL, it will lie into the queue number 2. Okay. So that is the reason it says PNR will fall into the queue number 2. Now the travel agent's job is to check the PNR and call to the passenger, sir, we have created a waitlist PNR for you. However, the airline has confirmed the PNR. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to make the payment so that I can go and issue the ticket? So a passenger said, okay, I'm ready to make the payment. So your travel agent has to change the PNR status from KL to HK. How will it happen? How will it happen from KL to HK? Tell me the command that will change the KL to HK. The universal command. RF, your name, and ERK, Shahad, not only the ER. Remember, once you are working on a queue, you have to work with an ERK. All right. Is that clear to everyone? So what will happen? the KL, whatever the status showing as in KL, it will change to HK. Okay, clear? Now looking to the queue number 7. There is a queue number 7 and the name of the queue is sched change. Okay, now can anyone tell me what is the sched change? Anybody has idea what is sched change? Yes, schedule change means airline has changed the flight timing. Whatever we have booked, whatever I have booked, the flight timing has been changed by the airline after a couple of days. Yes. So what is the queue number for schedule change? Queue number 7. Now, if I have done QT, do you see here the queue number 7? Yes, no? Do you see queue number 7? No. Now, why don't you see the queue number 7 here? Why don't you see the queue number 7 here? Anyone can answer? Yes, because whatever the PNR that I have created, the airline has not done any time changes. And that is the reason the PNR has the queue number is not displaying you here. Okay, clear? Now, very important thing to understand here in the queue number 7, because it is a very, very crucial queue. Now, how are you going to work under this queue? Please focus. What will you have to do? First of all, you have to check that what is the booking status. So definitely the booking status will show as an TK. So instead of showing as an HK, it will show as an TK. TK means what? A time change. Okay. Now, once you see there is a time change, what is your first job? Do not go and accept the changes. Remember one thing, under the queue number 7, rest of the queues you can perform the accept changes done anytime. But for the queue number 7, very, very cautiously measure. Please focus on here. Queue number 7, first of all, your job is to inform passenger and said, sir, there is a time change in your PNR. Earlier, the time was this much. The new time is this much. Okay. Now there are two things happen. Either passenger accept the changes, said, okay, I am okay with the new time. There will be no problem. And then the next thing that passenger do not accept the changes. They might say that there is a connecting flight. There is a connecting flight. I will miss my second flight, or then so other things will happen. The customers start cribbing you that what will I do to at the airport? I have to wait there for a longer time, and there are a number of things done by the passenger. Okay, so if passenger is cribbing, then there is a separate job. But if there is a passenger said okay with the new timing, then if passenger said okay, then what's your job to be done? Accept the changes. How would you accept the changes? By performing the command. Understood? If there is any time change in the PNR, first your job is to inform the passenger. And if passenger said okay with the timing, then accept the changes. All right. Yes, no. Understood this topic? All right. And how would you accept the changes? The similar command, RF initials and ERK. Now, the moment you do RF initials ERK, again, the TK status will change to which status? HK. Clear? Now moving to the next part. Here there is a schedule change and there is a PNR line. Okay. Now focus on this segment like here. So if you see here, there is a PNR line under the queue number 7. The PNR is from Delhi, Addis Ababa. Let's take an example here. It's an Ethiopian airline, flight number, date of travel. This is the timing and it is showing as an UN. What does it mean by UN? UN means flight is not going to operate. Okay. And then there is another flight. Uh, 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 there is another flight. Let me just go. Addis Ababa to JFK. I'm just giving an example. Okay. Don't look at the literal meaning. And here is the flight number. This is the date of travel. There's a connecting flight. Okay. Now, passenger, and then the flight has been changed. Now you said to the passenger, so there is a flight change. Passenger is not going to accept the changes. Passenger said, I have a lot of issues with the new flight timing. No matter, no, I don't know how you are going to just do, but please accommodate into the same flight or give me any hotel or anything, whatever he wants to say. You need to just take out the same feedback from the passenger. And the second, if passenger is not going to accept the changes, the second job, if passenger said, no, I'm not going to just take the new flight timing, then what's your job? Check with the airline, ask for the alternative flight. If passenger say, if the airline said there is no alternative flight, then ask for the full refund. Okay, two things you have to ask: either ask for the alternative flight or ask for a full refund. Whichever will be applicable, you share with the passenger. Okay, got it? Yes, no? Now focus. If passenger requested, understood and agreed with a new flight timing, that means the alternate flight, then do as per the airline's instructions, because the airline instructs you, okay, just add a new segment, send it to us, we will issue the PNR. That is one job. If the airline is providing an alternate flight and customer is accepting the alternate flight. Okay. Now, but the alternate flight is not accepted by the passenger, but passenger said, okay, give me the full refund. I will arrange myself. Okay, give me the full refund. All right. Yes, no? Now, passenger agreed on the full refund. Then how will you go and process the full refund? Remember one thing, focus. If you see here that there is a flight, there is a timetable change in the flight, and there is a connecting flight. In the connecting flight, there is no timetable change. It might be a possibility, yes, no, that in one of the flight segment, the flight has timetable has been changed, but another segment there is no flight time change. So, and customer agreed for the full refund. Customer agreed with the full refund. So how will you process the full refund? So then do not go and perform this RF initials ERK. Okay. Then do not go and perform this RF ERK. Then you go and perform this XE command and delete that segment which has a time change. And then go and perform the XI command and then whatever the command for the full refund that you have to perform. Okay. But for the time change, do not perform this RF initials ERK until and unless customer is not accepting the new time. Is that clear to everyone? Yes, no? Anybody has any questions? Now, let's, this is the last, which is a very common queue which is being used. Queue number 8, and the name of the queue is TKTNG. Remember, we were discussing about a ticketing time limit. So once passenger said, okay, I'll make the payment tomorrow. So what is the command that you use to enter in the PN while creating a PNR? If passenger is not ready to make the payment today, he's asking to give me at least a 24 hours. So what is the command? TKTL. So once you enter the TKTL and the date and save the PNR, what happened? The PNR automatically lies into the queue number 8, because this queue number 8 is the having a TKTNG queue, and here that PNR will only be live where the travel agents have given the time limit. Okay. Now, what is your job? Can anyone tell me what is your job? What action would you perform in this queue? Tell me what action that you perform here. No, you have already done this one. You have created the PNR. Now you are working on a queue, and now you are working on the queue number 8. Very nice, Lakshan. Sorry. Now, what's the next job? Call the passenger then. Call the passenger and cancel the PNR, Diksha. Yes, very nice, Lakshan. Ask for the payment. If he paid them, if he made the payment, then send it the PNR to the ticketing department. Or if you have the rights to issue the PNR, then you perform the issuance command. All right. If the passenger is not going to make the payment, then what will you do? Tell me what will you do? Cancel the PNR. That's it. Clear? Now understood this much queues. Now, what is the queue number for the waitlist PNR that you create for the customer? What is the queue number? Quickly, tell me quickly. I can see only one people have replied. All right, queue number 2. Very nice. And what is the queue number and the category number for the scheduled change PNR? Diksha, queue number 6. No, queue number 7. No, Princey. No, Kanchana. For the scheduled changed PNR. Very nice. Queue number 7. Here. So queue number 2, whosoever has said, or queue number 6, please correct yourself. Queue number 7 is the correct answer. Clear? Now, moving to the focus of the topic. Now, we have learned only the theoretical thing, that what is the work of queue, how are you, what is the job that you are going to do. Now we are going to do this thing practically. Now I have performed the command qt, which will display me the active PNR's queue. Okay. Now I don't know that under this queue number 1 category number 6D3 range, there is a single PNR which is lying here. I want to see the PNR, that what action that I have to work and everything that we have learned theoretically. So first of all, I have to go and open this queue category. Then I will see the PNR, because here the PNR is not showing me. Correct? So I want to go and view and open the queue category number 6. So how would I go and open the queue category number 6? Now see here in the if you want to start queue processing, what is the command? Tell me. QS. That is the command. QS. After entering the QS, you need to enter the queue number. Tell me, what is the queue number? If I want to work on category number C6, SPCL, SBC, Q number one. So do not write here Q1, only type number one, which means I want to process the Q number one. Now, what is the category number? C6, that is the category number. And then you need to enter the further date range. So what is the date range? D3. So what will happen? It will open the queue number one, category number C6, the date range number 3. Now see, now it is displaying you that, okay, queue cycle is completed. The queue number name is Confo SPCL SVC6, queue number 1, C6, D3. Now what is this 0 mentioning here and 0 showing? See, look at the screen. Now, how many PNRs are lying here under the C6D3? 1. Now, what is showing you here is 0? Because there is no other PNR at the back end. That means at the background, there is no such PNR. And there is a single PNR which needs to be worked and which is displaying you here. Okay? Yes, no? Now tell me, if I have opened the category number C6, so what type of PNR lied here, or what type of PNR is lying here that I have to just see and check and work accordingly? Tell me. Q number 1, category number C6. Tell me, what type of PNR lied here? The special service remarks or the special service request, which we have done. So now I know that this is a queue for the special service request. Now, if you see here, focus on the command here. Now you are looking and you are seeing it's a huge number of elements present. Yes, no? Yes or no? How many elements are displaying you here? Tell me. 16. And there are many more elements as well. If I do MD, you can find out the other elements also. Now, I'm getting confused that which of the element is a special service element and which of the element is an other element. So there is a partial display command as well, which will help you to display only those elements that you are required or that you want to display on a screen. So there is a command RTG, which will help you to display only those elements who has those elements which has a special service request or an OSI remarks that has been done to us. See, so the moment I do, I will see the only request here, the special service request. Yes, no? Understood the command? RTG. Now see, here is the command given. Have you noted this command? QS, the category Q number, category number, and the date range that is used to go and start working on a particular Q category, Q number, category number, date range. Noted? Now let's write around this command, which is given here at page number 15. So if you want to display the general facts, including OSI and SSR element, the command is RTG. Okay. Now I want to only display here. I only want to display the itinerary. I don't want to display these SSR remarks. What is the command? See, tell me what is the command? And I only want to display the itinerary segment. RTI. Here it will display you only the itinerary segment. Okay. If you want to display only the remarks which you have entered in the PNR, what is the command? Tell me. RTR. So don't you think that this command is very useful for the list of lengthy elements which are present in the PNR? So now Let's focus on our topic. Here we know that there is some changes done in the SSR element. Now look at here. There is a changes status change here. We have requested a seat number. Now the airline has done a KK segment. What does this KK segment means? Remember, I told you, if you see here as in KK means the airline is confirming that seat. And what is your job? Accept the changes. So what will happen if you do? So the KK will change to HK. Now focus on here. There is one status changed. Now there is another status change, NO, which means you have requested a bassinet seat, which airline has rejected that it is not possible for us to give you the bassinet seat. Then there is another request, meet and assist, that is also rejected by the airline. Okay. Rest of the service segments are done HK, which means it's confirmed by the airline. There is one more BBML that is also not rejected by the airline. So these much services are rejected, and there is one service which is getting confirmed once you accept the changes. Now, how will this thing happen? What is the job? You need to accept the changes. Tell me, what should I type the command here? And look at the result also. Tell me the command first of all. Waiting for your answers. Very nice. RF NM ERK. Now focus. The moment I do so, what will happen? The KK status will gets confirmed to HK, and all those NO status, which is showing you here, will be removed from the PNR. See, I have already explained you here that whenever you see NO, that means airline has rejected. The moment you accept the changes, it will be removed from the PNR. Now focus on the thing which I am going to do. And now let's look at the result. I did it. RFN ERK. Done. Yes, no. Now you all tell me, the job has been done, the acceptance has been done. Yes, no. Now I want to display only the SSR remarks which have been entered at the PNR. What is the command? Tell me. I just did entered the command RTG. Enter. Now see, the seat request, which was earlier showing as in KK, now it becomes as an HK. Now all the NO status, that means all the special service request which is showing as an NO, has been removed from the PNR. So now you understand what is the work of that command RF initials semicolon ERK. Yes, no. Done. Any questions till now? Please ask me. All right. Quickly, I'm going to just give you two, three more commands. And please, today, give me 10 or 15 minutes extra so that I can just complete my sessions. Anybody has any problem if the session will extend to 5:15 or 5:20? Anybody has any problem? Okay. Now focus. Now your job has been done. Whatever the action that has to be done by you, that has been done. Correct? Now, if I again here the PNR is displaying you, correct? Now, how do you remove the PNR from the queue? Because if you do not remove the PNR from the queue, it will always display you in your queue. It will anyhow display in your queue. So there is a command which helps you to remove the PNR from the queue. Now, what is the command? See, See, here's the command. Tell me, what is the command that you remove the items from the queue and display the next one? Tell me the command. QN, which will remove the PNR from the queue, and if there is any another PNR lying in this particular queue, it will display the next one. Okay. Now tell me, if I do QN, will it display any another PNR? Yes or no? Will it display any? Why not? Because there is no PNR, any other PNR in this queue. There is only a single PNR which we have already worked. So the moment I do QN, it will the we will be removed from the queue, and now it will automatically display the queue list. Okay, understood? Yes, no? Tell me yes, no. Okay. Now you tell me, I want to see the PNR lying in the queue number 1, category number 8. So tell me the command to enter or to open the queue number 1, category number 8, date range number 1. I can see only one people, Madhusika, has replied. What about others? Quickly reply on the chat. QS1 C8D1. Enter. Sorry, I did it QD. Now see, I am into the queue number 1, category number 8, date range number 1. Now again it is showing as in 0 because there is no any another PNR behind this queue. Yes, no? Clear? All right. Now you open the PNR and you saw that the PNR, the travel date is a future dated travel. Means the date range is not D1, D2, and D3. It is showing as in D4, which means it's more than 8 days of travel. Okay. Now you saw that, okay, the travel is a future dated. That means the travel is a future dated, and you call to the customer, passenger did not pick up the call. You call to the airline also, nobody in the office who is going to help you. Okay. Now what will you do if there is nobody is the none of the airline is helping you, none of the senior is helping you? Now what will you do? Tell me. There are a couple of things that can be done. Number one, if you discuss with your colleague or a senior and he said, okay, leave the PNR, and we will discuss it after 4 p.m. or we'll discuss after a couple of days. The travel is future dated, we'll discuss a couple of days later. Okay. But he said, do one thing, do delay the PNR in the queue for 2 days later date, which means that if you want that the PNR should not be come again into my queue for the next 2 days, you want to delay that PNR for next 2 days or for 24 hours or for the time being, any kind of thing that can be done through a command. Display the item, that means delay the item and display the next one. Suppose you don't want, that is the PNR which is right now working is not getting connected by the passenger. That means you do not allow connect by the passenger, any of the things that has happened. You don't want to work right now. Now you want to go and display the next PNR. Okay. What will you do? The first command which is given here is QD. Clear? Yes, no? Let's do that. QD means it will not remove the PNR from the queue, but it will only delay the PNR for the time being. Let's do that. Now, the moment you do QD, the PNR gets ignored and you are off from the queue. Again, you need to go and perform QT to display. Now, again, I want to go and display here. This time, I don't want to perform QD. I want to do IG. Either one of the command will work and do the same job, which is done by the QD and the sorry, IG. Remember, QD and QI will do the same work. See, the moment you do QD, it will be ignored and off from the queue. Now here the same has happened. It has been ignored and off from the queue. But only job is that you delay the PNR from a certain time being, and you ignore the PNR. You don't want to work. That is the difference between QD and an IG. Clear? Any questions? Now suppose you manager said delay the PNR for 2 days later. We'll just discuss this after 2 days. So what will you do? You enter QD and the date and the time. Okay. So if you want to delay the PNR, QD, and then date and time. Clear? So that is the way you can do so. Now, if you want to ignore the PNR and exit from the queue mode, because right now I'm in the queue mode. I don't want to work because my superior told me leave the PNR whichever you are working, but do not remove the PNR from the queue, and you exit from the queue as well. So QI is the command which will ignore the PNR and exit from the queue. See, PNR gets ignored and off from the queues. Understood? Any questions related to QI? Anybody has any questions, please ask me. Okay. Now, moving to the next topic. Suppose there is a PNR, okay, and your manager said, okay, send me the PNR into a particular queue, because there are a lot of times the PNR gets queued into a particular queue number because there. So how do you send any of the PNR to any particular queue number? That command is given here. QE. QS is used to sort the PNR, and QE is used to send any PNR into a particular queue number. So QE, the queue number and the category number. Clear? Yes, no? Anybody has any question? Now, if you want to send any of the PNR into any another office ID, Q. So QE is the command which will help you. Then slash the office ID, then slash the queue number and the category number. Okay. Clear? All right. Let's start working. Okay. There is one more topic, extended security. Here, please focus on that part. So suppose there are two types, sorry, before going to start this topic, there are two types of travel agent. Okay, one is an IATA travel agent and then another a non-IATA travel agent. Do you know the difference between IATA and a non-IATA? IATA travel agent can issue the ticket and non-IATA agent cannot issue the ticket. Okay, that's the major difference. All right. Now, suppose you are an IATA travel agent and you are not allowed to issue a ticket, and you have created a PNR. Now, you want to see whatever the fare is looking in your screen. You want to check that is there any other cheaper fare available in any one of the IATA market, that means IATA travel agent, and you know 3 or 4 different types of IATA travel agent. That means 3 or 4 different, not types, 3 or 4 IATA travel agents. You have a good contact with three or four IATA travel agent. Okay. and you all of the four ITA travel agent, you have an agreement, EOS agreement between all those four of the ITA travel agent. So what will happen? All of those ITA travel agent who have an agreement with you and all the four ITA travel agent, uh, they can open your PNR and they can work accordingly. That means they can open your PNR and they can do any changes that you they can they that you they want to do. Sorry, that they want to do. Now you called one of the ITA travel agent and said, there is a customer. I have created a PNR. I want to know that is there any. I'm just going to share you a PNR, and I want you to share me the fare whichever is available in your ITA, that means in your agency, and then you talk another any, that means the rest of the three ITA travel agent. But you know that you have an agreement between you and the rest of the four ITA travel agent that anyone can open your PNR. Yes or no? Because the PNR cannot be opened without any agreement. EOS agreement should have happened between the two travel agency. Then the PNR can be opened into the another office ID. Else, if there will be no agreement between you and the other travel agency, then it is not allowed to open the PNR. Okay, are you getting my point? Yes or no? So suppose I am an ITA travel agent, and there is an Abdul who is an sorry, I am a non-ITA travel agent, and Abdul is an ITA travel agent. Okay, so I have a good discussion with an Abdul. So I discussed this Abdul. Abdul, can you issue my ticket? So they said, okay, I can. I'm ITA travel agent. I can issue your ticket. Okay, so I said, okay, take this PNR and tell me what is the fare that is coming on in your market, that is in your office ID. I share the PNR on your email, on his email ID. Now he opens the PNR and he saw that there is I'm not able to open your PNR because it's a secured PNR. Have you noted that you once you receive any PNR from any other travel agency, you will not be able to open that PNR. It says a secure travel PNR. Yes or no? For that, what will you do? Because you and the person who has to whom you have shared the PNR, you both do not have an EOS agreement. Okay, so to resolve this, Amadeus has provided you an extended security. Now, what will happen? Now, if you want that those travel agency to open your PNR, okay, so then you can do by your hand, by your side. Now, how will you do so? What will you do? There are three different levels provided in the Amadeus. One level is in read only level, read and write, read and ticket. Now, what all these three different meanings? Suppose you have a three or four different ITA travel agency good relationship with them. So you want to first of all know which one of the ITA travel agency is giving you a good deal. That means good fare. Okay, so at the first stage, the customer which is your customer is a very important customer, and you don't want to lose the customer's data to all the four travel agencies. Okay, so what will you do? You provide the security rights, okay, only as in read only. That means they can read it and then they can give us a fair, best fair, or you can just give any security rights that read and write security. That means you can read my fare, you can read my PNR, you can update a best fare in my PNR. Okay, are you getting my point? What I'm trying to tell you? Should I explain it once more? Okay, let me just explain once more. So here is the scenario that I am a non-ITA, and then there are four different person who are an ITA travel agent, and all of them have different fares, because you know that every travel agency have a different fare given by the airline. Now you want to see which one of the ITA travel agency or which one of the agency is giving me the cheapest fare. Then I will go and tell them to issue the ticket. All right. But the customer data do not want, I don't want to breach the customer's data. I don't want to give the all information to be given to the travel agency. All right. So just to save the customer's breaching policy, what will you do? You just give a security rights on the PNR with with a command. So if you want to give only read and write security, means they can read your PNR and they can update the fare. And then you see the fare, whichever is fare is lower, you go ahead with that fare. Okay. So then what is the command that you can do? ES, the office ID, and give it a B and B. So suppose I have opened this PNR. Now I want to give a security rights to a different office ID. So what is the command that I'll do? ES, the IATA travel agency office ID, and then dash and the B. B means this is a read and write security rights. On this PNR, they will only read my PNR. They will do and update the fare. All right. So I can do this in such a way. I can add 5 different IATA travel agencies office ID in a single command. ES, the first travel agency, give the security rights. Then the second travel agency, give the security rights. And then third travel agency, give the security rights. And then by entering, by doing the same, you can add maximum 5 different. Now you shared all of them, the PNR. Now only those 5 people is able to only open your PNR. Rest of them are not allowed. Okay. Am I clear? Now they have updated the fare. Now you saw, okay, this A travel agency has given me the best fare. Now you know that you have already saw that fare. A travel agency has given you a best fare. All right. Now you find that, okay, this A travel agency has given you the best fare. So do you think that rest of the four, uh, uh, rest of the four will will have the same rights given by you? Do you want to just give them the rights? Yes or no? Do you want to give all or rest of the four to do rights? Yes or no? Which means, do you want to share any kind of rights with rest of the four? Because one of the travel agency has given you the that means the cheaper fare. So what will you do? You just go and cancel the rights which has been given in the PNR by performing this command. The moment you do ESX, the rights will be withdrawn. Now again give a new security rights, read and ticket security, because here it will only read the PNR and it will only do ticketing on this PNR. Rest of the things will not be possible to do so. Okay. Perform this one and enter /T. So what will happen? All the rights will be removed and then perform a new ticketing rights on this PNR. And then only that travel agency have the rights to ticket. Rest of them will have no rights. They are not able to even view the PNR as well. Understood my topic? Understood this topic? Yes or no? Now, let me just do this one. See, this is an office ID. Let me del 1A0900. I'm going to give you a security rights as in B. That means read and, okay, sorry, that's 0900. Del 1A0900. See, the moment I do, the command gets accepted, and see. Yes, if you want to give any another office ID for issuing, then you can do only T rights. Now, after giving the rights, don't forget to save through RFER. Remember that one, because it will, if you do not do so, then the rights will not be saved. Now, if I move down, see here at the bottom, there is an ES rights given. Have you noticed here? By this, only this office ID has the rights to read and write anything on this PNR. Rest of them have no rights to open. All right, getting my point? Yes, no? Now, if you want to withdraw the rights, what is the command to withdraw the rights? Tell me. ESX. Press enter. Now, again perform RFER, and let's go to the bottom of the PNR and then see. Do you see here any security rights, extended security rights? Because I have withdrawn the rights. All right. So this is also one very important command which is given here, page number 16. Clear? Yes, no? Now, that's it from my side. I have almost covered every topic. Now, if you have any questions from your side, feel free to ask me. We still have 10 minutes. Anybody has any questions, please ask me. Um, I do not understand your question. DK1/1, what does it mean? Can you just tell me where do you see this DK1? Yes, it is possible, but all the fares get saved, no? Hafsa. So you can see that one by one, the TST numbers, because every time the fare gets saved, there is a new TST generated. So you can see from there. What is, can you unmute yourself and ask the questions, Sahad? Because I do not understand your question. DK1/1. Where do you see this command? When we need to add additional packs to be selected sector, you showed, okay, that is the one command. See what happened. I did it 10th March. Focus on this Delhi, not Delhi. Let me say Colombo to Singapore. ASQ. Now, by mistakenly, what I done, I just sell one seat. Okay, but I know that I want to increase the seat because I want to sell 2 seat or 3 seat. So if you want to increase the number of seat, there is a shortcut. What you do, you see that this is a segment number 1. So what you do, segment number 1 slash how many seats that you want to increase, 3, 4 or 5. So let's take an example, 5. So you put /5, press enter. What happened? Automatically seat number gets increased. Instead of doing ignoring and creating a new PNR or starting selling a new segment, that is also a way to just do so. Okay, Shah, that is the thing I just did it. Now you entered how to provide a quotation. Let me just read the question. How to provide a quotation for a passenger for instant departing on 10th March from Colombo and depart 20th of March. So the quotation is very simple. I did the same. You perform like this one.
Right.
Let's sell the seat. Perform the command FXR or FXX. See, there is an NHP condition error. Now, if I want to sell 2/5, so that automatically gets increased seat FXR. Let me go and just sell them. Here is the lowest possible fare. Now you can share.
Amadeus listen
Okay. Somebody asked any other question. I don't know. Where's the question gone? Let me see any other question that is left behind. Sure, I will, Hassan. I will share you that quick reference guide. Let me copy your email ID once again. I'm just going to share it with you now. Because every time anybody has Aarti Verma, Aarti, I have, however, I have shared you these details. I have shared each one of you the quick reference guide. See, I have already shared.
It's going session. I'm leaving after this.
All right, Shahad, I have already added your name. Now, any other questions anybody has? Please ask me because we are going to end the session. Anybody has any questions? For that, Kulveer, request you to connect with your account manager, Raveen. I have shared each one of yours email ID. I don't know why it's not received yet. All right, no worries. I'll just again share. Which one is not working for us? Shahad, which one is not working for you? Shahad or Aarti? Okay, no worries. I'll just send it to you. Don't worry. It is not working for you. Then I don't tell. I'm not aware because this is a shortcut command. Some of the shortcut commands are not being given to the travel agent, so I am not aware about it. Please connect with your account manager because that is a shortcut way, and the shortcut way is not. I am taking my words back. I have
Okay.
trained you because that. So that's
Sir.
okay. I'm taking words my back. Okay. So the today what we have learned how to price and how to get a price without selling any itinerary through FQD and FQP command. That is the one thing. The second thing we have learned the different queues. What is the use of queues? How to function and how to action a queues. These things we have learned today. Okay. All right. Anybody has any other questions? I'm going to just end the session. Anybody has any questions? Please ask me. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And I wish you all the very best that you do good in your organization. Thank you. I'm going to end the session. And within the next 2 or 3 minutes, you will receive the quick reference guide, whosoever has shared the email ID. Thank you.
Recording stopped.